Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. In today's little video, it's going to be relatively short because of some certain things that are going on or not going on. Uh, Today there's a major severe weather outbreak going on. A tornado has already touched down in Minnesota. A multitude of supercells are firing from Wisconsin all the way down to Oklahoma. Um, so this is just an absolutely horrible situation. This is the second moderate risk of the year. To go over things really quickly, a moderate risk is a level 4 out of 5 on the risk scale. We haven't seen a moderate risk since March 10th of 2026. This is what a moderate risk looks like. It correlates with a level 4 out of 5 on the risk scale. Sorry, I am coughing a lot. It's just allergies are kicking my butt. Anyway, so some places in the moderate risk include Kansas City, Missouri, Wichita, Kansas, Overland Park, Kansas City, Kansas, and Topeka, Kansas. So those are some of the major metro areas. In the moderate risk, in the enhanced risk, places like Chicago, Tulsa, Madison, Aurora, and Rockford are in the enhanced risk. Some places in the slight risk include Indianapolis, Milwaukee, Oklahoma City, St. Louis, and Des Moines. And some places in the marginal risk include Dallas, Fort Worth, the DFW Metro, Omaha, Minneapolis, and Arlington, Texas. We also have two general thunderstorm risks, not including the one perpetuated by the cold front in Montana, stemming from the Canadian-American border to Montana to Idaho to Wyoming, and then another general thunderstorms risk in New England and the Mid-Atlantic region. Um, so yeah, so let's take a look at the tornado outlook really quickly. If you notice, we have a 2%, a 5%, a 10%, and then a SIG 1 and SIG 2 tornado risk. That means that there is a significant probability of major tornadoes that could be potentially over EF3 in intensity. We have the 2% risk stemming from the Great Lakes all the way down to the Mexico border. Then for the 5% risk area, for the 5% risk area, it goes from the UP of the Wisconsin-Michigan border all the way down through the Great Lakes region, through the Midwest, into the Southern Plains, and the whole entire 5% risk zone is under a SIG 1 SI or CIG 1 hatched risk of severe weather, single hatched, and then there's a 10% double hatched risk that includes places like Rockford and northwest Illinois, eastern Iowa, the extreme tip of southeast Minnesota into southwest Wisconsin, and then there's a regular 10% SIG 1 risk that extends into central Wisconsin and southern southeastern Wisconsin a little bit. Um, so yeah, wonderful, and uh, there will be a ton of tornadoes today. Uh, I hope not, but there probably will be from the looks of things. Then we have a wind risk. Now, here's a 45% risk of wind. I showed you this yesterday. It has been extended substantively uh, from the Illinois-Wisconsin border all the way down through central Illinois into the eastern portion of Iowa, into central Missouri, and east central Kansas. And there's a SIG 2 risk of wind as well. There's not only a single hatching from southern Wisconsin all the way down through the Midwest into the southern plains and north central Oklahoma, but there's a SIG 2 risk, CIG2, conditional intensity group 2 risk, that encompasses Kansas City basically, but a more broad area is from west central Missouri into east central Kansas. So 85 to 90 plus mile per hour wind gusts are expected there basically. Then the hail risk The hair risk is also something very interesting. We have a 30% double hatched risk it from southwest Wisconsin to the extreme southeast portion of Minnesota to eastern Iowa to northwest Illinois. And then we go down, we have a 45% double hatched risk of hail that's actually the maximum intensity for hail. There's no other intensity after that. There would be a Sig 1, Sig 2, and Sig 3, but no, you can only get Sig 2 with hail. Um, and that's because of theoretical limits with the atmosphere and stuff like that. So, there's a 45% hatched risk of hail that extends from south central Kansas into north central Oklahoma, and the Sig 2 risk goes from uh, central Kansas into western Oklahoma. So that is basically it for the hail risk. There's also a 15% risk of hail 15% risk of hail from the extreme southwestern upper peninsula of Michigan all the way down through the Great Lakes, through the Midwest, into the southern plains and stopping at like Wichita Falls, Texas or something like that. So from the UP of Michigan to Texas, hail is favored a lot. And then, there's some concentrated areas. So for today, basically, I'm not going to read the description because severe weather is already ongoing. It has been ongoing since technically this morning, but the real event hadn't started until like an hour or two ago. Uh, so that's basically, I'm not really going to read the description because severe weather, again, is already ongoing. So it's a little bit superfluous to read the description because it's just I mean, a general summary that I can essentially tell all of you is uh, expect EF3 plus tornadoes in some instances. Like in the hatching region, specifically the double hatching region, EF3s could be most concentrated there, but EF2 plus tornadoes could exist well within the 5% region, which is the brown region. Expect 85 to 90 mile per hour wind gusts, specifically near Kansas City, and expect very large softball sized hail that's equal to 4 inches uh, in uh, in Kansas, in southern Kansas and northern Oklahoma. Uh, please, and also in Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Minnesota. It's very bad. It is very bad. I it's just I have no words. I've never seen such a chaotic setup like this. And it's just going to be a cold front crashing through the area. Yeah, that's really it. Uh, really, it's and also a hazard presented is the flash freeze. There's going to be a freeze event because the cold front's going to be so strong it's going to be lofting in all of that cold air, replacing the warm air, the unseasonable warm air, and it's going to moderate temperatures by a lot. So it's going to feel probably like winter again for some places. But then temperatures will start to moderate over the next couple of days. So yeah. Da, 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 da. Sorry, I am doing something really quickly, so if you uh, just pardon me for like a couple of seconds. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Alrighty, so I apologize. Sorry for that. Just had to respond to a family member who was texting me. So this is tomorrow's outlook. This is today's outlook. This is tomorrow's outlook. Tomorrow, Saturday, April 18th. There is a slight risk. Wow, voice crack. There is a slight risk from Lake Erie all the way to from Lake Erie in western New York down through Pennsylvania, western Pennsylvania, eastern Ohio, most of West Virginia, northern and central West Virginia, into an extreme portion of western Maryland and uh, northeast Kentucky. Ryan Hall may be in the slight risk of severe weather. Uh, and then there's a marginal risk extending from Lake Ontario all the way down to the through the Mid-Atlantic and Ohio valleys uh, into uh, Western Virginia, not West Virginia, but Western Virginia, uh, into central Kentucky, extreme portions of northwest North Carolina, and northeast Tennessee. So the Appalachian Mountains are under this risk specifically. We also have a random marginal risk in central Texas. This includes a 2% risk of tornadoes from Lake Ontario-ish to West Virginia, a 15% wind risk, and a 5% hail risk. I don't know why I said I was gonna say 15%. I was trying to forecast, but no. So mainly wind is favored. Wind is perpetuating this slight risk. So this slight risk for um, Western Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, and Central and Northern West Virginia um, is not really going to be one of a substantial nature. It's really going to be subdued compared to the severe weather that's going to be going on today. That actually is going on today, but will continue to worsen throughout the night as the cold front comes through and spanks the warm air out of here. Um, so yeah, the cold front will continue to trek along eastward and until it will eventually ride off the coast, the east coast of the United States, and that's when colder air will be just churning and churning and churning and completely changing the seasons. It's like the weather is bipolar, for Christ's sakes. Anyway, let's let's read the description. Damn. Uh, my apologies. Synopsis. An amplified mid-level trough will advance eastward from the upper Mississippi Valley to the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley on Saturday. At the same time, a cold front extending from lower Michigan south-southwestward into south-central Texas will move east-southeastward across the Ohio, Tennessee, and lower Mississippi valleys during the day. Remnant showers and thunderstorms will be ongoing along the eastward-moving front at the start of the period, though this lingering and early morning activity is generally expected to be subsevere, sub referring to below. Upper Ohio Valley into the Central Appalachians. As the cold front continues eastward into the upper Ohio Valley and central Appalachians into the afternoon, diurnal heating amid a natural or narrow corridor of upper 50s to lower 60s dew points will contribute to marginal surface-based destabilization immediately ahead of the front. This, combined with around 40 to 50 knots of effective shear oriented oblique to the front, should favor a mix of organized clusters and perhaps a couple of supercell structures, posing a risk of scattered damaging wind gusts and isolated severe hail. Additionally, a remnant 30 to 40 knot south-southwesterly low-level jet will yield modest low-level shear and hodograph curvature, and a tornado or two will be possible with the more organized storms. Central Texas. High-resolution guidance is in relatively good agreement, depicting elevated thunderstorms evolving behind the cold front during the morning and early afternoon. Steep mid-level lapse rates atop the frontal surface and elongated/straight hodographs, around 50 knots of effective shear, could lead to isolated severe hail with any elevated supercells that evolve. And finally, lower Mississippi and Tennessee valleys. A couple strong storms will also be possible immediately ahead of the front as it impinges on the lower Mississippi and Tennessee valleys during the afternoon, given around 40 knots of deep layer shear and a weakly unstable air mass. However, displacement from the deep layer forcing for ascent accompanying the trough and skinny convective available potential energy profiles limits confidence in the severe risk here, precluding probabilities at this time. So, the threat for severe weather will definitely be heavily subdued tomorrow compared to today. Today, there's going to be an all-out brawl with severe weather. Thunderstorms are going to literally explode like dynamite, whereas here, they're going to be very meager at best. Yes, they will produce a high probability, and by high I mean only 15%, high probability of wind damage, but that wind damage will likely be very sub-severe. We may get instances, some small instances of some severe gusts, but the instances are going to be so minute and so uh, small and sparse that the criteria for conditional intensity group 1 is just not there. And yeah, so here's the day 3 thunderstorm outlook. I'm not really going to talk about this. I'm just going to show this to you, but I'm not going to talk about this. There's a general thunderstorm risk on the east coast of the United States, and it's essentially just the cold front is continuing to still trick on through, and so potentially anafrontal slash catafrontal showers are going to still be ongoing. Let's go back to home. Notice how for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week, there is not going to be severe weather as of lately. Um, I did look into the Storm Prediction Center's description of the Day 438 outlook combined with the Colorado State University Model Learning Program. I think that's what the CSU MLP is referring to. And it shows that Thursday could have the biggest, highest, most great potential for severe weather with a around 15 to 20% delineation. But who knows? Thursday is 7 days out according to the meteorological calendar. It's 7 days out. So it's very, very uncertain. Models are painting many pictures that are not all the same. So please continue to watch the models. Please continue to uh, adhere to the models and what they're trying to say. Uh, right now, though, really what we should be talking about is today. Today, expect major tornadoes, very, very large hail that can kill you on impact, and damaging winds that could severely injure, maim somebody, uh, and completely blow away structures. Uh, or at least parts of structures, can loft cars potentially. Um, I saw that a tractor trailer or semi truck, I believe, was toppled or blown over in Minnesota on Interstate 90 today. So that's exactly what winds can do to people on roads. This is going to be a major quasi-linear convective system. So please, please take this absolutely tremendously seriously today. Remember, if you live in the red, you're cooked the most. If you live in the orange, you're still cooked. I don't know why I'm saying cooked. It sounds unserious. You're screwed. I should be saying God, but Gen Z is getting to my head. I apologize. If you live in the red, you're screwed the most, and if you live in the orange, you're also screwed. If you live in the yellow, you're still probably screwed, but not as much. And then, once you get farther away from the red, you're getting less screwed. But still, regardless, there's going to be major severe weather, major winds, major tornadoes, and major hail. So please adhere every single warning disseminated by the National Weather Service and every mesoscale convective discussion and mesoscale precipitation discussion issued by the Storm and Weather Prediction Centers. That's really all I have to talk about. I'm done. Yeah, it's not going to be a 35-minute video like it was the last time. So, yeah, I'm going to end it short. I hope you have a great weekend, everybody. Peace out.